This strike is being widely followed around the public sector, with about half of teachers walking out, according to their unions, leaving schools closed across the country and non-urgent operations cancelled as hospital staff strike. About one flight in 3 scheduled to leave France on Tuesday has been cancelled, leaving tourists stranded as air traffic controllers join the strike. The public sector is angry about Emmanuel Macron's plans to axe 120,000 jobs, freeze their salaries and increase their social security contributions. Public sector workers say they feel the president has betrayed them.
His promises were just vain. He said he would boost spending power, and now he's cutting public sector salaries.
Macron promised to take our reduced spending power into account, and now he's president, he's broken all his promises.
What we hear from the government now is that we are only a cost, and we can't put up with that. In the health sector, people work every day to help others. Whether we are in hospitals, social services or retirement homes, health service workers are vital to society, and we can't accept being talked about as if we were just a cost.
The president says he won't back down. These public sector budget cuts are just part of a swathe of measures designed to balance France's budget for the first time since 1976. For Macron, this is key to restoring France's international financial credibility.
So let's stay in Paris now and let's go over to Craig Copetas, our editor-at-large. Craig, tell us a little bit more about this latest strike. What's the public's response been like?
Well, this industrial action had all the force of a wet lettuce, as are. Paris is the epicenter of all strikes in France. And although we saw a lot of people on the street in the film, let me tell you, there were not a lot of people on the street. The police said 26,000. I spoke with them about 20 minutes ago. The union says there were 46,000. That is nothing.
OK, but unlike the previous strikes, the more moderate unions like the CFDT have also joined in. Is Macron facing a much stiffer opposition to his reforms now compared to even a month ago?
He's not facing any opposition whatsoever. You have to have minimum 175 to 200,000 people in the streets in Paris to be effective. And I think you have to look at the numbers here. Days lost to strikes in 2014 per 1,000 people, 81. 300 days in the 1990s and 1,000 days in 1983. Now, let me tell you the punchline to those statistics. We were at a meeting this morning here with a bunch of industrialists and foreign investors looking to come into France, and they found that barometer that I just told you to be ridiculous. This is the barometer a country is looking at to get foreign investment. Fact as are, what France needs are jobs and education for young people. They're looking at startups, and you'll hear that, oh, they're getting startup money. Well, it's very easy in France to get startup money for your first round. The hard part is the second round. And investors are holding off on those second round tranches to see what happens with the Macron government. He's in the same position as Trump. Trump says he's going to lower taxes, so the stock market is booming. Macron is saying that he's going to create these labor reforms, which he has, but they're very, very small labor reforms right now.
Right. Craig, what do you think Macron's next move might be then?
Macron will start these laws probably the beginning of the year, and they'll put them into action. And he's going to wait and see what happens and then come through with a second round of reforms. Remember something, as are the big industrial companies here, many of them whose representatives, workers you saw in the streets today, most of these companies have their shares held by the French government.
Right. Craig, I'm afraid we are running out of time, but thank you ever so much.